Welcome to the Loving Yourself podcast with emotional intelligence and self care life coach, Pastor Tammy Wilson. The goal of this podcast is to empower you to be the very best you that you can be. We will talk about self care, setting boundaries, emotional intelligence, and much, much more. Join us now for a broadcast already in progress.
Hello, Pastor Tammy here with the Loving Yourself podcast. Thank you so much for joining me. Listen, this is part 3 of prioritizing. We're talking about prioritizing and how important it is to prioritize. So if you need to go back and watch part 1 and 2, it'll probably help you. But listening to this one will help you too. But if you go back, watch part 1 and 2, will help lead you up to where we are now. So we're talking about prioritizing, and being able to prioritize is so important because we do spend too much time on things that are not beneficial and not enough time on things that really, really need to be done. So we want to focus on things that really, really need to be done. So the last step I talked about was tracking your progress. If you're setting goals and you're doing things, you're making time, you're creating time to get things done. You're putting things in categories. You're doing a checklist. There's so many things that you can do. But once you start getting into that and setting the goals, you want to be flexible. Remember, prioritizing and priorities can change over time. As life goes on, things change. So it's okay to change with the change. Be open-minded to going back and reevaluating your goals and periodically adjusting your goals accordingly to where you are in life. Listen, where you were 6 months ago may not necessarily be where you are now. So there was probably some goals and things that you had in place and things that you wanted to accomplish then. And listen, you may have had a career change. You may have had any type of change that will require you to go back and reevaluate your goals, because things change, things happen. Nothing always remains the same. But the main thing is that you're still working on your goals. Even if it's new goals and you're reevaluating, you're staying focused, you're staying grounded, and you're moving forward. You're still setting that momentum so that you can continue to grow, you can continue to flourish, you can continue to mature, you can continue to be a better you. So when you're setting goals, I talked about this a little bit before when I was writing my first book, The Journey to Self-Confidence. You have to set deadlines. Because if you're like me, if I don't set a deadline, then it's going to take longer and longer, and everything is going to be prolonged and stretched out. But I found out when you set a deadline, that helps you stay focused, that helps you keep moving forward, so that you can get the job and get the task done. Specific deadlines for achieving specific goals will help you stay accountable. It'll help you stay accountable, and it will help you stay motivated. When you're motivated, then you can keep moving. When you're motivated, you're not so sluggish and telling yourself that you can't do it and giving yourself all this negative content and dialogue within your own mind. You're motivated so you can get up earlier than normal. You can be a little more attentive to what needs your attention because you're motivated. When I started working out a while back, right before COVID, my husband and I would get up every morning, like 5 o'clock. We would hit the gym at 6 o'clock. We were motivated. We were listening to Eric Thomas, E.T. every morning, motivated. And that helped me stay on task. So when I got on the treadmill, I'd find me a good praise break or some music that would keep me excited and keep me hyped. That's the things that you have to do in life. You can't get to the place to where your energy is going to be zapped. You have to find things that are going to energize you, find things that are going to perk you up, find things that are going to feed your faith and starve your doubt. Those are the type of things that you need to plug in. You need to plug into power. Whatever gives you power, plug into that. Whatever's going to charge you, plug into that. If it's a good sermon or a good motivational speaker, a good message, or a good podcast, whatever it is, you have to find those things. There's so many tools and nuggets that are here for us. I mean, social media is so beneficial and so purposeful if we use it correctly. It can really help us get goals and things done. So you have to focus on one goal at a time. After you set that deadline, you focus on one goal at a time. Don't try to do too much too fast. Focus on one goal at a time, and don't allow yourself to be consumed or overwhelmed, because like I said it in part 2, if you do that, you will become burnt out. If you move too fast, you move too hard, and you don't take the breaks that you need, you don't take the time to have that leisure time, time of relaxation, time of meditation. If you don't take that time of prayer, whatever it is that you use to recharge you and re-energize you, then you'll find yourself burnt out and you won't accomplish those goals that you need to accomplish because you're not using wisdom. You got to use wisdom in everything that you do. You have to do things in a timely manner. You have to stay focused, but you can't do too much too fast. So, you have to learn to do one goal at a time. Now, you may be that person that can multitask. As I said it before, I can't multitask. I can start on something and work on this a little while, stop that and work on this a little while, but I can't work this and work that, work this and work that. That's just me. I have to do one thing at a time. Once you've mastered that, then maybe you can start adding another thing and another thing, because my husband can multitask. He can do 2 or 3 things at one time. I am no good at that. It's like, hold on, let me finish this and I'll help you do that, or I'll be there. So one good thing is try to focus on one goal at a time, and give it your full attention. We always want to be present in whatever it is that we're working on, whatever goal, whatever dream, whatever vision. You want to give it your full attention. Give it your full attention, because when you give something your full attention, then more than likely you're going to accomplish it and get it done, and you don't have to go back and redo it. Oh, I missed this or I skipped that, because you gave it your full attention. Now, when I'm doing certain things, if I'm doing my homework and something gets my attention and I'm like, oh, I forgot to answer this one. What was I working on? Or where was I at? If I'm reading a book, it's like, now where was I? Set aside that quiet time where you can give whatever it is you're working on your full undivided attention. So what does that mean? If you have things that are calling your attention, don't start on it. Don't start on that goal until you know that you're able to do it. You know that you're able to get it done, because if not, there again, you're starting and stopping. The reason why we start and stop is because we don't allot time to do the task that needs to be done. We just do it. And when you just do it and you haven't allotted that time, it's kind of like when you're at a hotel room and you're staying another night and you put the do not disturb sign on the door, that's what you have to do when you're working on your goals. Sometimes you have to put your phone on do not disturb. Sometimes you can say, you know what, they'll leave a voicemail. And if it's important, you can look at your phone and see if it's a text that needs your attention, because sometimes when you do that, there are things that really need your attention. It's maybe someone's hurt, something's going on. So don't just block the whole world out. But there are things that can really wait. So if they leave you a voicemail, if they text you, then you can check it and see if it needs your attention. If it does, then you handle it. If it does not, then you let it wait. Once you get what you need to get done and give it your undivided attention in that allotted time that you've set aside, then you can go and do the other things that was calling your attention, the leisure things, the fun things, the things that were always calling your attention before, any and every time, all the time. You gotta, I said it before, you gotta put things in different categories from, what's most important and what's not important. So, you have to organize where you're going, organize what you're wanting to accomplish. Give it your full undivided attention for however long. You may set it aside. I'm going to work on this task for an hour. I'm going to work on this task for 30 minutes. But if it's an hour or 30 minutes, spend that time working on that task. Not answering every phone call and answering every text and scrolling on social media and getting distracted. And, you have to be focused. You have to focus. And as I said it before, remember that goals and prioritizing your goals is a personal process. What works for one person may not work for you. What works for you may not work for them. It's personal. So you have to do what works best for you. And sometimes it may take you a little while to get it. It may take you a little while to know what works better. You may find out that you do things better in the morning. Some people do things better at night. Some people do things better at noon. With your different work schedule, you may be working one schedule this week, one schedule next week. You may change jobs. Things happen and things change. And as I said before, you may have to go back and reevaluate. Don't keep moving forward in something that was working as no longer working and you're still trying. If it's no longer working, go back and regroup. Tweak it a little bit. It could be something that you need to do to help you get back in the proper alignment to continue to move forward, because sometimes we try things that are not working and we get stuck. We're aggravated, we're frustrated because, it's not working. It was working before, it's not working now. Take a moment, breathe, walk away, take a break, get something to drink, come back and analyze, what was I doing then that seemed to be working that I'm not doing now? Or maybe I don't need to do this anymore because X, Y, and Z has already shifted. Whatever you need to do, do what's best for you so that you can keep moving forward. Don't get stagnant. Don't you dare quit. You may get tired. You may be aggravated or frustrated, but you have to walk away for a little bit and come back with a better attitude. One of my favorite scriptures is, I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. So you have to know that everything you need is already on the inside of you. You just have to activate it. Activate it and get the job done. You can do it. I believe in you. You can do it. Set those goals. Allot time to get them done. Prioritize. Do what you need to do to get the job done. But listen, you can do it. I'm Pastor Tammy. Thank you so much for joining me once again on the Loving Yourself podcast, where I am trying to give you some tips and some nuggets to be the best you that you can be. Because guess what? You matter. Your health matters. Your life matters. Your time matters. Everything about you matters. I love you and I mean it. God bless.
You've been watching the Loving Yourself podcast with my lovely wife, Pastor Tammy Wilson. We ask that you like, share, and subscribe.